What's our general status, Matt?
We've picked up a distress call from the planet Agria. There's a colony there under attack by the Zerg. Your convict buddy Tychus lined up a mission retrieving another artifact. It's on a Protoss shrine world called Monolith.
So since there's no real rush to get the artifact, we're gonna go ahead and go to Agria.
Any ship receiving this transmission. The Zerg are invading Agria. The Dominion abandoned us here. We're just a small farming colony. We've got to evacuate before we're overrun. If you can hear this message, please help us.
Incoming transmission.
Thank you so much for responding to our distress call, Commander. I'm Dr. Ariel Hansen, and I represent the people of the Agria colony.
Pleasure to meet you, Doc. You can call me Jim. What's the situation?
The Zerg have overwhelmed our planetary defenses. The colony is lost. For the past 12 hours, we've been evacuating people to the nearest starport, but the Zerg attacks have become so intense, we can't get any more through. If you can guard the highway, we can start sending the remaining groups every few minutes.
Don't worry, Doc. We'll get your folks through to that starport safe and sound.
I pray you're right, Commander. The Zerg are more terrible than I ever imagined.
So yeah, on the note of tech reactors being a thing, that's totally true. But tech reactors you don't get until you've maxed out your Protoss research. So you don't get them until really late in the game, and by that point you almost aren't even using medics nearly as often anymore. Like, they're good still, but you definitely aren't building them because a lot of the missions you get them on are like you already have enough of them to start with, or you only need a couple. The reason I still get the tech thing is because I like to build a few medics early on and then occasionally just spatter them in when I'm building Marines. It makes it so that I don't have to have any dedicated barracks for medics and Marauders. I can just build Marines Marauders whenever I need them. And then usually I don't build Marauders other than the ones that you get out of the mercenary post.
Let's get cooking.
So that's a lot of the reason that I get that early, is because I actually I'll destroy this tech lab right here.
I'll give you control of the main building so you can help us evacuate
Actually,
the
I
colony.
won't. I'm gonna get a couple extra fire bats.
Not enough minerals.
Barbecue.
But it's nice to not have to dedicate even a single structure to medics later on in the game. Like mid-game before you get your tech reactors, but when you're still building medics.
Need some treats.
Fueled up.
Is it critical?
Fight fire with fire. You got my attention.
We'll need to escort the convoys all the way to
So the
main
first thing we're
starport
gonna do
to get
is
a
we're gonna
chance
go
of escaping
take out
this
all the
planet.
bunkers and sell them.
The first convoy from Lark's Crossing will be moving out soon.
Someone had the right idea of building bunkers to defend the roads.
Now, if you're going for the don't salvage, one, I recommend not doing it on
Dominion
brutal, because
military
that's
abandoned them when the
one
Zerg
of the
attacked.
harder
They
missions
didn't
to
give a
do.
damn about the colony.
Sorry.
I just want to get this one to pop up.
At least these bunkers are in a good spot. I'll see if we can't get them manned.
Fight fire.
It's not a terrible idea to keep them around just because they can offer some defense. If you're struggling with this mission, the first few waves, you can leave them up and the Zerg will attack them first, but I tend to just ignore them. Alright, we've got 4 fire bats. That should be fine for now.
Don't stop for anything. Let's roll.
Not enough minerals.
Let's get cooking.
Not enough minerals.
So the first time, the only time the Zerg attack you is each time you reach a split in the road. That's here, here, and here. So we'll just move our troops up and defend from there each time.
Not enough minerals.
The second time you start to get a couple of attacks from behind, you're going to want to be able to split your troops.
Not enough minerals.
Armed and ready. You want a piece of me, boy? Why not? You gonna give me
So apparently without the bunkers there, they don't attack at all. Actually never had that happen. Another thing you can do is if you're trying to go back to base, you can right click on the convoy with your troops and they will just follow it right along.
Better be good. Coming through. Let's do this. Barbecue. Been waiting on you.
Add-on
That's fine.
complete.
This group will always attack you. And then your first Zerg research of the game is going to be right up here on the right. There's 2 more on the map, but they're a little deeper. You're going to want more troops for them. And particularly, we want the fire bats, because the fire bats can survive more banelings, and they're going to have underground banelings that will explode on you near each of the artifacts.
What's going on? Go, go, go! Of course.
Additional supply
The more of these overlords we kill, the better off we're going to be. The last thing we want is to have the Zerg able to rush up on us really quickly. Alright, so your first banelings are going to be right down here.
Roger that.
It's a long haul to the starport, partner. How can we be expected to guard the whole thing?
I reckon we can use a mobile force to keep it clear, or build more bunkers to block the approaches.
We want to keep our Marines back. I don't really care about the fire bats. I build them literally just for this purpose.
Convoy is almost ready to go,
Yep,
Commander.
there's your first
Please deliver
baneling.
your men.
There's another set of them right up here. I think there's another one up here. I could be wrong. Okay, so yeah, the other ones are down by the other artifact,
By the numbers, boys.
which we'll be going down to probably after the next convoy heads out.
This better be good. Can't wait.
So even now, like I said, I'm a diamond StarCraft Zerg player. I can be probably platinum as Protoss, but my Terran is by far my worst.
Get to the starport! Move it!
So I'm always really bad about it.
SCV ready. This better be good. You want a piece of me, boy?
Not enough minerals.
Alright, so now we got a convoy heading up. We're gonna knock out the next wave.
Keep your shirt on, Sparky.
This time they will attack from every point that they can. They'll attack from behind occasionally. They'll come up this ramp after we've passed it, is what I mean by they'll attack from behind.
Not enough minerals.
So we're gonna have to deal with that. Yeah, Zerg artifact. Zerg bio ball. I don't know what the hell they are. Zerg research. Sorry, chrysalis DNAs. That's what they are. They're chrysalis DNA.
This better be good.
Zerg research objectives. So this right here is actually, I made it look really easy. It can sometimes be difficult. If you're not up in that choke point already when the Zerg arrive, you're going to find that they're going to get the attack off from the front. Because they attack from the side right here. And if you leave your units attacking there, they'll end up walking down there while the front gets attacked. So that can cause some issues for you if you're not prepared for that split.
Not enough minerals.
Good lord.
Additional supply.
Wow. Getting ahead of myself on the hotkeys. Alright, so realistically the rest of this game you can beat with just this army. Alright, so there's banelings up here. Pretty sure at least. There's a baneling up here. Regardless, always send the fire bats in
Commander,
first.
another convoy will be heading out soon.
Now even on Brutal you can knock out the Zerg bases, but you do, if you want to knock them all out, you do have to sacrifice at least one of the convoys. Which we're not going to do this time because it's just not worth it. No, I use grid. So QWERT, it's basically just the left side of the keyboard. I don't like standard hotkeys, particularly for some of like the Protoss. Having probes on P bothers me. I don't like having to reach across the keyboard for stuff. So I use grid hotkeys because I prefer them. It's also easier when I'm switching between races. I don't have to look down here at this point anymore, so it doesn't matter much, but I feel like it's a little quicker for me just because like drones, probes, and SCVs are always on Q, which is nice. Zerglings are always going to be on like Well, Zerglings aren't going to be on the same as Marines, so that's just not true.
Sure.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what most of my buttons do at this point. I just know where I need to click in order for me to build stuff. Yeah, see, I don't even know what probe is, but they should. It's good that they changed it from P. I just came off of a Starcraft 1 playthrough, and building probes has to be my least favorite thing in that game.
The colonists are hurt. We gotta save them. Of course.
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna stop and build 2 engineering bays. You don't need 2 for this mission. Ideally, I would have built them earlier, but I put myself behind on economy. So we're building 2 now so that we can knock out both the upgrades immediately. Realistically, you don't want 2 engineering bays until you have all your upgrades unlocked, until you have tier 3 upgrades. But there are a few missions where I'll do it when I'm already behind as is. And that's just so I can knock both of these out at once. That way, by the time the next convoy moves out, we'll be ready to go. And after we escort the next convoy, we're gonna knock out this northeast base entirely. This whole base is gonna die. You won't be able to knock out this one because it takes up this whole corner. Like, it's a huge base. It takes a long time. Like, if you go straight after one of your convoys clears and you wipe it out, the other convoy will die before you finish wiping it out. Actually insane how long it takes to clear that base.
Sir, we just detected Zerg organisms entering the upper atmosphere. I can't give you an exact fix, but they're heading your way.
Minerals. Additional supply depots required.
We have another convoy ready to be escorted, Commander.
I think on Brutal there's shorter times between the convoys. I could be wrong.
What's going on?
I don't know. I've done this mission with battle cruisers before, and that's pretty funny because you can postpone this mission until after you beat the entire game, up until, like, you know, you can't go to Char. But if you do it with nothing left but this one left, you can actually get like 4 or 5 battle cruisers. But this mission is actually not beatable with battle cruisers because the Zerg destroy the convoy before you can get a critical number of battle cruisers to wipe them out. And you run out of minerals so quickly that, like, getting up to battle cruisers and actually getting battle cruisers is near impossible.
Everyone's here. Let's go.
So I ended up having to do it with Marines still.
Armed and ready. Roger that.
The next mission, however, on this storyline, on the colonist storyline, you can absolutely do with battle cruisers, but when I did that one, I ended up having my barracks and my factory and my command center following around my battle cruisers as I destroyed the last of the Zerg because my base got overrun.
Sure. Attacking the convoy. Let's rock. Affirmative.
So we want to take a second and knock out all the creep we can.
Go, go, go.
Just because the more creep the enemy has, the more they're going to be able to
Roger that.
reinforce. The faster their units are going to get onto your units. It's not essential, but, you know, we don't want to give them any advantages. So again, they'll attack from both sides. You want to get half your army going one way, half going the other. A good way to do that is let about half of them start attacking and then attack move to the other side, and the ones that are already attacking will stay where they're at, and the ones that aren't attacking will turn around and head the other direction. Alright, so I think there's one more wave that steps up here. Could be wrong. Yeah, there's not. Okay, we're good to go. Once they're up here, contrary to beliefs, you actually can lose this entire setup, and like if you start losing ships, you actually lose the mission, which is crazy. But you'd have to bait enough Zerg up there to actually get them to destroy it. They won't naturally go up there. So we're gonna ignore those guys for now and get these guys in a nice split straight across, and we're gonna go take out this base just for fun because we can.
Sir, I'm picking up seismic disturbances closing in on your position. I think it's some kind of tunneling Zerg.
Wonderful. It's just like it. nice and interesting.
Anyway, don't need to watch that.
We're almost done, Commander. Another convoy will be starting out soon.
Been waiting on you. We could use some help here. Who wants some?
The doctor is in.
So at this point, we're going to start building up at base again, because I'm going to be attacking this for quite a while. But the Zerg bases are 100% destroyable here. It doesn't reduce the number of Zerg you run into. Well, at least not by enough to notice.
Is the road safe up ahead? Guess we'll find out.
Alright, we got enough guys here to finish this base off. We're going to let these guys do that while this group moves back to base to defend the convoy.
Been waiting on you. Armed and ready. Who wants some?
Mineral field depleted.
Now we start getting Nidus worms popping up. First one's going to pop up down here.
Of course.
If you're good, which sometimes I'm better than others, I haven't been playing Starcraft a lot lately, so I'm not at peak performance, but if you're really good, you can actually focus down the banelings.
Not enough minerals.
Armed and ready.
And if you focus down the banelings, then, you know, you don't lose half your army there like I did.
Aye, aye, sir. This better be good. Sure. Go, go, go. Can't wait. Who wants?
So we don't have to worry about the Nidus worm and stuff from behind because I selected all and sent these guys forward.
This better be good. By the number.
You always want to take out all the Nidus worms you can because they will continuously spawn troops, and if you don't take them out, they'll spawn them towards your base.
Roger that. Will do. I feel it. Who wants?
And like I said, you can go up here and you can destroy this whole base, but you do have to sacrifice an entire convoy in order to get it knocked out.
You gonna give me orders?
We're gonna go finish off this base, the infestor pods.
Not enough minerals.
This better be good.
At this point, we're about out of minerals, we're about out of gas, everything else, so they'll try to rebuild this base, but this base at this point is irrelevant. Oh yeah, we win. That's the win there.
We've lost the
I
colony.
thought we had one more wave, but we don't.
My people got out alive, thanks to you, Commander.
I always kind of laugh at the Zerg in these missions because it's like, realistically, like, we were winning. We were winning hard. We could have kept clearing this map. Keep spreading out, building more troops, but whatever. So that was perfect. Lost no colonists. Convoy's done. Everything was done except for sacrifice nothing. And I don't think there's any mastery achievements in Wings of Liberty, so I think we did everything.
Great job, sir. Dr. Hansen's offered to stay on with us for now, and I think her skills will be invaluable.
It's hard to believe I'm even here.
Great to have you, Doc. How you planning on pitching in?
Well, your medical facilities are medieval, and your science expertise is non-existent. Perhaps I could start there.
Ouch. Well, I guess you might be able to teach Stedman a thing or two. Welcome aboard, Doc.
So at this point, we've unlocked the lab. We can now do stuff with the research objectives that we've completed. But I don't think that we've actually unlocked anything with that.
Guess you heard the news by now, Raynor. Looks like you're back in business.
That I am, Mr. Hill. And fighting the Zerg and Dominion all at once is going to take its toll on my standing forces. You got any guns for hire?
But you know the invasion makes it a seller's market right now. Still, your bartender over there makes a hell of a Mai Tai. So, sure, I've got some mercenary contracts you might be interested in.
You're all heart, Mr. Hill.
All right, so we unlock Devil Dogs. We're gonna hire them immediately. Oh yeah, I guess you don't unlock lab. You're right on that. I thought once Hansen came on board, you unlocked lab. That's okay though. We're gonna hire every mercenary as soon as we can, and then we'll worry about upgrading stuff. So the next mission we actually do use bunkers. They're useful. But we're just gonna go stim pack and combat shield. Because like I said, you don't want stim pack without combat shield. The 10 life you lose for the stim pack isn't worth it unless you already have the combat shield, which gives your Marines, you know, they go up from 40 health to 50 health with the extra 10 life. When you stim pack, you lose that 10 health, so they basically become a non-combat shield Marine, which means that they're now a non-combat shield Marine, but you basically sacrifice the health your combat shield gives you for extra fire speed. Which with medics, once we get our stabilizer med packs, it's basically irrelevant. Like, you pretty much just destroy everything without an issue.